Hi guys, Dragon Warrior Reviews here, and today I'm going to be showing you the Hot Toys Clone Commando Gregor figure from Star Wars The Clone Wars. So I do like the character Gregor, but the main reason I bought this figure is because I love the sort of look of his armor. I love the paint on it, the weathering. It looks absolutely awesome. And Clone Commandos are definitely my second favorite trooper in Star Wars. My favorite are the Death Troopers. Unfortunately, we didn't see Gregor wear this armor very much, but when we did see him with this armor on, he put on a great show. Anyway, on the front of the box here, we have a picture of Gregor here. It says Hot Toys exclusive up here. Then down here, we sort of have the Clone Wars sort of banner. And another picture of Gregor here. And then it says Clone Commander Gregor on the side here and Hot Toys and stuff like that. And then on the side here, we have another awesome image of Gregor. I say this in all of my Star Wars reviews, but I really wish Hot Toys glued these down because these are extremely easy to get bent up. A lot of mine are actually bent. Either they came like that, like my Gregor one is a little bent now, maybe I just bent it by doing this actually. You see how easy it is to bend them, or maybe if they get knocked around so slightly, this part gets knocked around, it just bends out in place and it looks awful. So I really hope in the future they glue these down. And then on the back here, we have the usual legal information and Hot Toys store locations in Hong Kong, and a battery warning because this figure does come with some button cell batteries. Now, if we remove the slipcover, as per usual, we get this awesome artwork. So as you can see, we've got an almost full body picture of Gregor here. You can sort of see what they've done is as the sort of visor is lighting up, it's sort of like, you can sort of see there is some, I don't know how to explain that, but some glare from the light. That's pretty cool. There's some sparks down here. This kind of looks like Geonosis, I'm not quite sure. And this is sort of Gregor's symbol you can see on his armor. This is a really, really awesome picture. I haven't actually seen this picture on any videos because not many people have got this to review yet, which is strange. So yeah, but the weathering on this picture, the weathering is absolutely disgusting. And I got a feeling when we put the box down and we take this off, we are going to see, okay, of course we're going to see the figure, but we're going to see some amazing weathering. And as you can see here, there it is. And now, my first impressions of this figure is, yes, just like the box, very, very weathered. And he looks absolutely awesome. I cannot wait to get him out and take a closer look at him. So anyway, yeah, let's take out all his accessories, display base, and the figure, so we can take a look at him and everything he comes with. Alright, first of all, let's start off with his hands. So the armor piece on his gloves is quite weathered, as you can see. Got some speckling of dirt and stuff, some chipping as well. And yeah, some white markings. And then the gloves, yeah, some good wrinkling in the gloves. Pretty cool, really nice. This hand is sort of a flaring out hand. It can be used for a lot of different poses. We have a pointing hand. We usually get these with clones. And we get two sort of gun holding hands. These are very stiff as well, so you might need a hairdryer to weaken the plastic to get the gun in, but I'm not sure. Maybe with enough dedication you should be able to open these. I don't know, I'll find out when I start putting the gun in this hand. And then already installed in the figure, we get sort of two open palm hands as per usual. We get the button cell batteries. And then here we go. This is the exact same Clone Commando gun we get with the Imperial Commando, Scorch, I think all of them actually, yeah, the same one is reuse. It is cool though, got some sort of weathering on the silver. It's really cool. And you can also remove sort of the ammo thing, and then you can remove this part as well for some reason. Maybe in the future we'll be able to customize these guns like you can in the game. I haven't played the game, but I heard you can sort of customize the guns and stuff in the games. But yeah, that's a pretty cool gun. I don't think it's fully accurate to what Gregor uses in... Oh, it is the same gun, but I think it's more browny black in the Clone Wars. But I'm fine to get this reused gun. I am fine with that. Here we've got his display base. Very, like IG-12, and I think it was Morocco as well. It's very, so it's more weathered than usual. It's got loads of scratches, chipping on the sides. It's really, really awesome. You get a crotch grabber as per usual. And then it says here... you can remove this as well. Star Wars Clone Commando Gregor. And you can also like remove these nameplates. And I'm guessing you can switch them around with other. So if you want this to be, I don't know, Obi-Wan Kenobi's display base or something, you can switch the nameplates around, I'm pretty sure. That's pretty cool. And finally, this is more part of his look, I think, but still, I still count it as accessory in the accessory segment. His backpack, let's just talk about the Clone Commando backpack here. It is super, super weathered. You can sort of see he has that sort of camo paint job on there, and that's why I really like Commando Gregor's sort of paint on his armor. But you can sort of see there's little browny sort of markings or dirt. I think that's like dirt where like maybe, I don't know, he's falling on the ground and like mud and dirt has gotten onto the surface of the paint. It looks absolutely awesome. His backpack is magnetic and the same on Gregor's back, so you can obviously stick this on his back, no problem. Very awesome. And there's a load of chipping down here. Really, really awesome. This is absolutely a feast for the eyes. You know me, I love blooming weathering. And you can open this up, and there's a lot of room inside for you to install his like spare hands, which I might actually do. I'm trying to like get some accessory tubs to put all my accessories in, but the ones I bought before are kind of sold out, so I have to wait for them to get more in. But I think while I'm waiting for that, I'll put the hands in here. Didn't do it. But yeah, really, really awesome. This is kind of hard to close, actually. I cannot close this. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. Anyway, let's take a look at Gregor himself. So as you can see, he is looking great. My first impressions of him standing in front of me, honestly, are, yeah, really, really awesome. I love the weathering on the armor. Like I've said quite a lot in this video already, or a couple of times. But yeah, cannot wait to, take a proper closer look. I've installed the batteries, make sure they're working. Quite an easy process to do. And yeah, so here we go. Let's properly get into the details now. So first of all, let's take a look at his helmet. So, as you can see, he's got those sort of tally marks all around his helmet, which is very accurate. He's got sort of the yellow accents around the sort of visor section, and all of that sort of military sort of camo as well. Goes around. Really, really awesome. And you can sort of see, like, it's kind of like the military sort of camo paint is chipped off, which is really good. Nice attention to detail there. A little bit of browns there as well. And so much speckling of dirt, especially on the top. It's everywhere. If I pick him up here, you can sort of see him. Just take him up. There we go. Look at it. It is absolutely covered in dirt and grime. It is absolutely awesome. Now, as much as I love the look of this, there is an inaccuracy, quite a big one. So Gregor's helmet is more unique compared to the other Clone Commando helmets. It's not the paint, none of that. It's the actual mold of the helmet. Basically, his sort of like mouth section was a lot thinner. I'm actually going to put up a picture on screen now of what it's actually supposed to look like, but it makes it look really a lot more thinner. I'm pretty sure, yeah, this part, I think it makes it look a bit, I'm not sure actually, I forgot actually, but I think, yeah, I know that the mouth part needs to be a lot more thinner. And I think this part here, where sort of like the blue comes down a little bit there, it shouldn't be, it should be more black and the blue's only up there. Does that bother me? Only a little bit, it's not the end of the world for me, just because I do prefer the look of the normal default Clone Commando helmet anyway. But yes, would I preferred it to be more accurate? Yes, but do I really mind? Not so much. I think the reason why they didn't do that is because they would have to, make a new mold, pay for a new mold just for Gregor. But I kind of wish they went all out a little bit for this figure. We'll talk about more of that in the pros and cons section. But to access the lights, all you need to do is take this cap off his head. It's magnetic. And then you switch the light on like so, like this. And then we put the cap back on. And here we go. It lights up. It takes bottom set batteries, which I actually don't mind, just because having a wire, coming out of them just for the like head wouldn't be too super good. They could have like somehow transferred power from the backpack, but you could put like a battery in there, and it would maybe like a bigger battery, so it would last longer. But if they did that, maybe you wouldn't be able to remove the backpack. Anyway, let me just quickly turn off the light so we can see how bright this light is. So yeah, it is actually pretty bright. It's as bright as the other one. I do own the Imperial Commando, so I do know what the other one was like, or one of the other Clone Commandos was like. But yeah, it's pretty bright. It's nothing too crazy. But the best part about this helmet, which I wish they did with Iron Man figures, is they painted the visor to look like it's actually on. So even if the light's not on, it looks like the light's on. I wish they did that with Iron Man figures or like C-3PO figures, but they don't, unfortunately. Now, as you can see, the sort of chest plate and the shoulder pads, they are absolutely full of more dirt and grime, chipping. It is absolutely awesome. We have Gregor's sort of logo there. Really, really awesome. This part is sort of like, I think, a rubbery, rubbery material, PVC or rubbery material. And on the back here, we'll put the backpack on soon, but let's just appreciate the detail before we do. Very, very nice. Very, very impressive. Down here, more of his logo on these gauntlets as well. It's just a feast for the eyes. It's pretty much the same design all the way down, really. But loads and loads of chipping, paint, scratching, speckling of dirt. The shoes look really, really awesome. Really nice spandex suit as well, so it'll be really easy to pose. Really, really nice. Really impressed with this. Why is there a hair right there? I think that's got caught underneath the little dome when I put it back on after turning on the light. But yeah, very, very nice. Very, very awesome. Time to put the backpack on. There we go. Very, very strong magnet, so there's no chance of the backpack falling off over time. Very awesome. I don't really like how he's because the shoulders or the arms don't go flush down his side. The wrist pegs look a little bit weird here, or the hands. I don't really like how he's sort of like standing, like when you have him in a pose like this where he's just standing straight. Really doesn't look very good for the commandos. Usually right now in my reviews I would show you what he looks like with the flash on before we get him into a pose, but I think I would rather get him into his first pose first, and then I will maybe put on the flash. Yeah, but really impressed with this figure so far. It is really a feast for the eyes. I love figures which are covered in dirt or grime. Alright, we have pose number 1. As you probably know, in my reviews, I copy most of my photos or pictures off blogger photos just because it saves me time trying to like figure out poses, and plus I do like a lot of the poses of the blogger photos. This one's very similar. It's not exactly the same. If I spent a bit longer, maybe I could get it like the gun near his wrist a bit more, but it's okay. It's similar. This is what the figure looks like with the flash on, so I'm just going to go around a little bit deeper here and there, because with the flash on you can notice a lot more of the speckling of dirt. That's what I've noticed in my reviews. But yeah, I really like this pose so far. Really, really nice. He's sort of crouched down a little bit with his legs. Really cool. Very sort of Clone Commando Gregor pose you will see him do. He probably did something similar when he was, before he got blown up, or before he blew himself up with the Rhydonian in that episode. That was such an amazing battle, by the way, as you know. If you haven't watched that sort of scene where where Gregor sort of was fighting all those droids, it was incredible. Like, it was an overwhelming amount of droids. He did such a good job. And he survived to tell the tale as well somehow. He survived getting blown up by Rhydonian. Really, really awesome, but let's just talk about the figure really now. Incredible. Look at it. Like, but yeah, the really cool pose just with the gun out. Very nice. And yeah. So what I'll probably do with each pose, I'll show you with the flash on. And then what I will do is quickly turn off the flash and just have the light on his helmet. As you can see, I don't want it to keep it like fully on when I'm posing, just because button cell batteries will die like that. The bigger ones don't die as fast. Like with the Green Goblin glider, I put them in, I left them in, they were fine. But with the Iron Man ones, they just dim very quickly. They stay okay or stay really good for like literally like 5 minutes. And then as I was reviewing the Iron Man figure, I was getting disappointed because they just kept dimming and dimming, and it's really annoying. The Iron Man figures really irritate me with the lights and stuff. But yeah, this one probably will have the same issue. It will start dimming over time. But anyway, let's move on to pose number 2. So basically, originally I had this pose sort of where he was like, oh crap, oh my screwdriver, on his display base, 1 foot on and 1 foot off. I'll probably put it back to that so I can show you both, because on Instagram I took a picture of him like this, and then how I had him before, just so I can show you both, guys, because it's not really any different. I just have to move the feet a little bit. But here we go. It's sort of a similar pose with the blogger photos with the hands. I think if you tuck that under a bit more, which I couldn't really do, and don't really want to try too much, come on, I'm going to break the elastic underneath the shoulder. But that's the best I've got here. He's sort of like holding his gun like that. He's got the light on right now. I'll only be careful though, because I don't want him to fall over on me. It's stable, but it's not stable enough. But I'm really liking like these action poses with this figure. Actually no, action poses with any figure are cool, but if I go from the side, I don't want to turn it all the way around because I know he's gonna fall over. What I like to do is I think I said earlier, sort of whoa, hold up. Yeah, I think the bottom cell batteries are dead. Like literally, yeah, you can sort of see they're working, but they just dimmed. Oh my goodness. I think in my last Clone Commander review, which was the Imperial Commando, I didn't put the batteries in until the end of the review because I knew this would happen. I didn't really think about it in this review. I should have put the batteries in at the end. To be fair, number one, you've seen them with the batteries, and number two, it's not that much different, but yeah, I think the buttons are batteries have had it. But I think, as I was saying earlier, I will choose a pose of the blogger photos. Sometimes can't get it as good, but most of the time I just alter it a little bit. Sometimes you can't see what the feet are like, so obviously you have to alter it a little bit. And yeah, anyway, let me just quickly switch things around and put on the flash. So as you can see, I've sort of put his foot on the display base. This is what I had first of all. I think I like the other one more when he's not raised up. I don't know, actually. Let me know in the comments which one you like more, him sort of raised off the ground or more standing on the ground, not so tilted like this. But it looks great. I think he looks cool like this. I wouldn't use this pose in my collection. With Clone Commandos, I prefer them to be a bit more simple. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Alright, here is pose number 3. And by the way, the light is mysteriously working good again. I don't know. Button cell batteries are just strange, I'm not going to lie. But anyway, yep, this is a really cool pose here. It's one I sort of copied off the blogger photos, but sort of didn't. So basically, there is a pose on one of the blogger photos where he's sort of like holding the side of his helmet. But his gun is held differently. But then there's another sort of like picture on the blogger photos where he's holding his gun like this and his hands sort of going out like that. Maybe he's like sort of like pointing or telling someone to go like over there. I sort of did like a hybrid of 2 poses here into one. I think it's really cool, really like it, really simple. Like I said earlier, I think I prefer the more simple poses with the Clone Commandos. Did I say that earlier? If I didn't, well, you know now anyway. But yeah, looking really cool, really, really nice. And I really hope I like my final pose. Also, I couldn't quite get the hand right touching the helmet. I've tried my best. I'm not the best poser in the world. It does take a little bit of skill to copy the poses, but it's close enough. It's like he's putting his hand there, about to answer a call or say to a trooper, oh, we need backup or something. I don't know, but looking great. As the lights start dimming on the helmet again, yeah, they're pretty much gone again. Here is my final pose. Very simple, but I absolutely love it. And this is my favorite pose of the video. Really happy with it. Let me just see if I can fix the lights. If it starts doing that for you, just what you should do is just switch off the light, maybe for a little bit. I don't know, let's see. Yeah, you see, for some reason it does that. So if I switch it off for maybe like a couple of minutes. Yeah, I kind of left it for like a minute or so, and yes, they're back on. It might be like a faulty pair of batteries, or maybe they're just dimming or, you know, dying really, really quickly than usual. In fact, no, button cell batteries usually die really, really quickly. Yeah, well, anyway, yeah, if you just leave it for like a minute, it'll be fine. But yeah, I'm really happy with this pose. Yeah, he's sort of walking forward a little bit, or stepping forward maybe, or whatever. He is leaning off it a little bit. He should be quite secure, especially because of his backpack. But yeah, okay, they're just dimmed off again. Forget the blooming batteries. I'll probably take them out later, to be fair. Sorry about the squeaky chair. I love this pose more than the pose I put the Imperial Commando in. But yeah, I'm about to actually bring down the Clone Commando the Imperial Commando for a comparison. I've been excited the entire video to do that. I'm really excited to see what they look like side by side. But I am so in love with this pose right now. Like, I'm so super happy. I was putting him into the pose and I was like, it kind of looks super similar to the way he's holding the gun. It kind of looks super similar to the Imperial Commando pose, and it does, definitely, just because I like these sort of poses with the Commandos. But when I sort of like crunched him forward and put his legs like this, I'm like, yeah, I think it's unique enough for it to look good, you know, in the collection. Anyway, it's time to bring down the Imperial Commando. So here we have Hot Toys' first Clone Commando figure they ever made, next to their latest Clone Commando figure. So what I heard was the sort of newer models of the Clone Commandos after this one was released. I think the next one was Scorch, and the chest plates were bigger, like some of the armor pieces were bigger. I don't really notice that actually. Like I thought, I don't know, Gregor's chest plate would be bigger. Maybe Gregor's got like the same mold as this one, but it might be just because they're in different poses. But I kind of notice, I don't know, maybe Gregor's one's slightly bigger, I don't know, but I think the body is pretty much the same. The only thing I really notice is the shoulder pads are actually bigger. But yeah, I think they both look incredible. Obviously with Scorch here, he's quite an elite, he's a really, really, skilled clone or clone commando. Then we have just the Imperial commandos. These ones with like the white stripes were, I think, exclusive to like Mount Tantus. These were like Dr. Hemlock's like personal guards, I think they were. I really like these as well. I don't think these were as trained like the white clone commandos, or these ones weren't as well trained as we saw in the Bad Batch. But Commando Scorch, Delta Squad, which I don't know much about, but and obviously Gregor, which we saw Gregor really put up a good fight. These are more the elite clone commandos. But yeah, I love these, really, really awesome. We actually got like a thermal detonator and a sticky thermal detonator or dry popper with the Imperial Commando, but not with this guy or Gregor. I think these look amazing together, and they will be displayed right next to each other in the collection as well. I really like the look of these two together. Love them. Let me know what you like in the comments. I think they're both really awesome. I like this sort of more whitey one here, but then over here we got more of the like camo and the yellow. I prefer the look of Gregor, but I love both of them, and I'm really glad I picked up both. But yeah, very awesome, really nice. This Clone Commando is still really cool, loads of detail on it. I did a review on it, make sure to check it out. It's actually, I think it's my highest viewed Star Wars Hot Toys figure on the channel, because for some reason, Star Wars figures don't do as well on my channel for some reason. Like the Hot Toys Darth Sidious figure was gaining views very quickly, and now it's sort of slowed down a little bit. I don't know where that'll cap out, but this guy's, really getting a lot of the attention on the channel. But yeah, if you turn them around, hopefully nothing falls over. The backpacks are pretty much the same, they're just all painted. They're just painted differently, as you can see. But very, very awesome. Love these guys together. I wonder what I should do with these spare hands. Ooh. Oh yeah, let me turn this figure around here. Open his backpack up. And let's throw these hands in here. And perfect. Man, I love these Clone Commando backpacks. Moving on to the two irritating and two great things about this figure. So the first irritating thing is, listen, I think Hot Toys put a lot of effort into this figure. There's a lot of weathering. The paintwork is not bad. It is absolutely incredible. You can sort of see all this on the body. Very, very awesome. Very, very well done, Hot Toys, and all of this. But I really wish they put a teensy bit more effort in, and maybe they could have made, Gregor's accurate sort of helmet. Like, this helmet is accurate, it's just the mouth part. I think it's the mouth part, or maybe the visor, I don't know. The mouth part to be a bit more accurate. It needs to be, as I said earlier, it needs to be a little bit thinner. And also, I'm pretty sure the blue shouldn't extend down there. Doesn't bother me too much, but I'm not done yet with this. Also, I think they should have added maybe a few more accessories. Maybe some like thermal detonators. Maybe they could have added the little Colonel guy. If you haven't watched the episode, you don't know what I'm talking about. But if you have watched the episode where we see Gregor in this armor, well, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The little Colonel guy, in his little droid. Maybe this figure would have been a little bit more expensive. But I really wish they made this figure a little bit more special. Maybe gave him maybe, or maybe even like a head sculpt. Like a clone head sculpt. His hair was a little shorter, but even if it gave us like a clone head sculpt, maybe with longer hair, whatever, I think it would have been okay. I wouldn't use it in my final display, but it would be cool for some photo photography. But yeah, I just wish I did a little bit more accurate helmet. Little Colonel guy, maybe. Yeah, I really hope they do an expansion pack. They're definitely not my favourite episodes, but that little Colonel guy is really, really funny. I just like the way he looks. Really, he's just super funny. So yeah, that would have been cool. But yeah. The second irritating thing is they got all this space in this backpack to maybe somehow like hide a battery compartment. Maybe like you could remove the backpack still. It could be magnetic, but maybe like there's a little plug when you plug it in with the magnetic, and it plugs. And in his back there is like wires going through, connecting to the LEDs in the helmet, and that would be a lot better, because if we could use bigger batteries, maybe like a AA, AAA battery or whatever, this light would last so much longer. Like I literally put the button cell batteries in, 5-10 minutes later, they're just dimming. They're just like completely gone. Don't have them on. I removed the batteries just because like I could turn this batteries on in my collection here and there, but I'm not going to because the batteries keep dimming. Maybe there's some faulty batteries, maybe they last longer, but it's kind of annoying. Just wish, I don't know, we don't have to deal with bottom set batteries all the time. USB could have been cool, but then like just a wire, you know, like connected to the figure just for the helmet. I'm not sure if that would be the coolest thing. I don't know, maybe it would, I don't know. Anyway, the first great thing is the amount of detail. Like, there is so much weathering on this figure. It is absolutely ridiculous. It is incredible. The paint work on this figure is incredible, and Hot Toys has done an amazing blooming job. I just love it. Like, it's a feast for the eyes. I just love figures with detail like this. Like, it's just amazing. The second great thing is, well, this is not just for this figure. This is for all the Clone Commando figures they made. As you know, with the Iron Man figures or the Protocol Droid figures like 000 or C-3PO, if the lights aren't on, they look like they're lifeless and have no, like, you know, life in them. It's definitely not a deal breaker of those figures, you know, still looks great on the shelf. But with the Clone Commandos, they painted the visor where it looks like it's still lighting up. Obviously, right now, I don't know why it looks kind of dark. It's probably because the pose is looking down a little bit, I don't know. The lights do look, the visor does look a little bit lifeless. It looks better with the lights on. But if I maybe just grab the torch here, you know, it's a nice lighting here. It kind of looks like, you know, it's lighting up. You know, for example, you've got the sun maybe coming in, or like a light on in your cabinet or in your room. You can definitely notice it still looks like it's lighting up, even though it's not. So I'm super glad they did that. Like I said, it's not just for this figure, it's all the Clone Commandos they have brought out. But yeah, anyway, honestly, if you like Gregor, or especially, mostly, more importantly, if you like, you know, Clone Commandos, and even more importantly, if you like this sort of color scheme for his armor, pick this figure up. It is so blooming worth it. I'm pretty sure as well that I paid less for this figure than the Imperial Commando. Either it's just because I bought it off eBay, off the same guy, but either I bought it off eBay, you know, people charge for more on eBay because you get taxed, and now the guy I buy from is on a website. Also, by the way, it's called Toy Buying Agent. That's why I think it's probably cheaper because his website doesn't get taxed. I just realised. Or maybe Hot Toys just charged more for their first Clone Commander because it was their first one. But he's really, really awesome, not too expensive, and he's really, really good. The articulation, I forgot to mention it earlier, when I had that pose where he's got his hand near his like helmet about to maybe like contact somebody. As you saw, the articulation is amazing. That spandex suit is incredible. The only limitation is really for the articulation is just the armor pieces getting in the way. But this is an amazing figure, and I could not recommend it more. It is incredible. It looks amazing. If you like Gregor, you like this color scheme, you love Clone Commandos, what the hell are you doing? Go and order this on Toy Buying Agent or Sideshow or eBay, wherever you buy your figures from. It is amazing. Anyway, if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button and that like button. Also, comment down below what you think of this figure. Also, if you want to support me further, make sure to check out my Instagram account. Link is in the description. And make sure to follow me if you like what you see. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in another review, figure preview, or short.